Alright, this is my audience that's going to be with me today. So, what if I told you that there was a way for you to do 3 different things at the same time? You could save animals, be the healthiest you could possibly be, and save the environment as well. As we all know, it's not in its best state. What if I told you that all of that could be done by taking on a vegan lifestyle? Not just eating a vegan diet, which is no meat, no dairy, and no eggs, but also not contributing to the leather and fur industry as well with your clothing. So first, there's 3 or 4 different things I want to talk about in the realm of being vegan. So first, I'm going to talk about the animals. Obviously, that's probably the number one reason why most people go vegan, along with the amazing health benefits. Or some people do it for all 3. So I'll be talking about chickens first. Male chicks, in the egg industry, male chicks have no use. They can't lay eggs, so they're kind of pointless, and they are usually ground up alive right then and there, or a big group of them are gassed because they can't lay eggs, and there really is no use for them in that industry. And about 260 million baby male chicks are killed every single year, and it's just completely unnecessary. The female chicks, these are the chicks that will be grown to lay eggs. They have their beaks seared off with a hot blade because when they're put into groups of a large number of other chicks, they will get stressed out and peck each other, and this prevents injuries. But their beaks are actually filled with many nerves, which many people don't know about, and there's no pain medication given to them, so they are just dealing with their beaks being cut off with that pain. Just imagine someone cutting your nose or your lips off. It can be very painful, and it's something they have to go through. 95% spend their life in battery cages, which are very small cages, probably a little bigger than that, with about 5 to 10 other hens in there, and this is where they spend their time laying eggs. The cages are completely wired, so their feet get very sore. Their feathers start to fall off, and they get sores all over their body from rubbing up against the cage, and other hens as well. They're usually considered spent, which basically means like useless, after 1 to 2 years, and are sent to slaughter after that. Chickens and turkeys are actually not a part of the Humane Slaughter Act, so there really is no laws protecting them against cruelty and abuse. Chickens that are bred for meat spend their time in buildings with 20,000 other chickens. They're very small buildings, they're very compact, and they try to fit as many chickens in there as possible because it's just for profit and they don't really give a crap. These chickens are bred to grow rapidly. They are injected with hormones, and they use selective breeding as well to make sure that they reach market weight, which is very large, as fast as possible. Usually their skeletons cannot support this rapid growth and collapse beneath them. A lot of them won't be able to walk anymore when they are only a couple months old. They are much larger than they should be. And there's no law saying, again, for the Humane Slaughter Act, there's no law saying that chickens or turkeys need to be rendered unconscious, which is usually done by a stun gun to the head. And so most of the time, it's very unusual for this not to happen, but most of the time, chickens and turkeys are hung upside down completely conscious with their throat slit. And you can just imagine how painful that would be. On to the next one. I'm going to be talking about pigs. Mother pigs are confined to a gestation crate, which is only slightly larger than her body, and she can only lie down uncomfortably and stand up. She cannot turn around or walk or anything like that, and she spends a lot of her time there. The flooring is made from slates, so there's gaps in between each of the slates so their waist can fall through. So they are literally living above their own waist, and you can imagine the ammonia and all of that is really not good for the animal. They develop a lot of sores on their feet and damage from the flooring. When they lay down, they get a lot of sores on their body because it's a very hard floor, very uncomfortable. Because of the small space that they live in, they're very limited to any interaction at all other than a lot of these workers that work in these factory farms, they are also bored as well, and they take fun in abusing these animals, kicking them, prodding them, stabbing them. And it's a very normal thing for them to do this. But these pigs will develop very unusual behaviors, very neurological problems due to intense boredom and limited interaction with other animals of their kind, and just in general, even humans. So after about 17 to 20 days old, the piglets that are born from the mothers are taken away and are castrated without any pain meds. Literally, they'll just pick them up right there, and usually sharp tools are used to do that. And a portion of their tails are removed because when the piglets go to the pens where they will continue growing, they are with a lot of other pigs, and again, out of stress and anxiety, they will gnaw at the back, at the tails of the other pigs, so they cut them off. Again, with no painkillers, just they pick the baby pig up, cut their tail off. And yeah, no painkillers, no nothing, that's just how it is. After about 6 months, the piglets, who are still very young, are sent to slaughter. Again, they are at market weight at this time, and they are the same as the chickens and the turkeys, selectively bred and injected with different hormones, growth hormones, to hit this market weight at a very fast pace. And then the mothers who just gave birth to these piglets are then re-impregnated, and they have about 2.1 to 2.5 litters a year, and then they are considered spent and sent to slaughter. Let's see, I'm going to get into cows now, which is probably the worst of it, especially in the dairy industry. Not many people think that cows get harm out of being used for dairy, but that is completely untrue. There's a lot of commercials that show cows in a field, and the farmer comes out with a bucket to milk them, but that's just not the case anymore. Most of the milk and meat products that you buy in stores are made from factory farms, just because that is the quickest, the easiest, and the fastest way to get that product in the market and to make money. So I'll start off. More than 9.3 million cows were used for milk in 2008, and 2.5 million of those cows, those dairy cows, were slaughtered for meat. 2.5 million cows were slaughtered in a year. That's absolutely insane. They are in a constant cycle of being pregnant, giving birth, getting their babies taken away, and then getting pregnant again. And it's just this constant cycle, and then getting milked. A lot of people think that cows don't need to be pregnant to produce milk, that's what they are here for, that they are here for us to milk them. And no, the cow will not explode if you don't milk her. The cow is producing milk because she's having a baby, and that milk is meant for that calf. That is how nature intended it. Cows can live for more than 20 years. but are considered spent at age 5. So that's very interesting. Calves are taken away only hours after birth, and if you, I do encourage more research to be done. You can actually watch videos seeing these calves getting taken away and the mother's reaction. You can see that they are emotionally attached to their young, and it is very cruel to take that baby away from them. The male calves are either sold for veal or to be raised for beef. And then the female calves, again, are raised to produce milk just like their mothers. And the cows spend all of their life indoors, hooked up to a milk machine, or in a crate or whatever. There really is no reason for them to go outside, so they don't put them outside. Okay, so because these cows are hooked up to the machines, their udders are hooked up to these sucking machines for so long, their udders can get very swollen and pussy, and this is called mastitis. That is why it is said that there is a certain level percentage of pus in your milk, and it is called, there's a word for it, and it's actually in the ingredients on your milk. They are injected with bovine growth hormone, which is made to have them produce more milk. Cows raised for beef suffer from dehorning, castration, and branding without any pain medication. Again, there's a lot of nerves in their horns as well. People don't know this, I don't think, because it's such a hard extension from the animal's body. They don't think they can feel anything, but they actually can. Castration, again, they are castrated without any pain medication. That's just something normal. Cattle, by law, are supposed to be unconscious before they are shackled and their throats are slit, but many times the way they make the animal unconscious doesn't work, and they are hung upside down, completely conscious, completely alive, and have their throats slit and their blood drained while they are still alive. And in many videos, you can actually hear them screaming, and it is very heartbreaking. Which is why, again, I advise to go watch these documentaries and things like that show a lot more information. And again, they are fed an unnatural diet to reach market weight at a very, very fast pace. So that's a little touch on the animal abuse that goes on. There's so much more I could say about it. So many more facts, so many more things to know about, but that's just a touch on it. Now moving on to the environmental effects. This was crazy to me when I found this out, but it takes 2,400 gallons of water for only 1 pound of beef, which is equivalent to about 50 full bathtubs of water for 1 pound of meat. And then it only takes 25 gallons to produce 1 pound of wheat, which is less than a full bathtub. Raising these animals for food takes up half of all the water in the United States, because of all the water we feed the animals, the water we use to grow the food for the animals, everything, it all contributes. You'd save more water by not eating a pound of meat than you would not showering for 6 months. So, if you really care about the environment and you want to save water, you're very conscious about that, keep showering. It's really not doing that big of a damage, but stop eating meat. That is a huge contribute to wasting water. Okay. So, the Environmental Protection Agency says that animal agriculture is the #1 cause of water pollution, and this is caused by the massive amounts of animal waste that is dumped into the oceans or into waterways in general, because there's just nowhere else to put it. And imagine all of that waste. Billions of these animals are killed every year. Imagine how much waste they produce. Every 6 seconds, an acre of rainforest is cut down for cattle farming. Every 6 seconds. That's, I mean, seeing it now, it's crazy to me. And in 2004 to 2005, 2.9 million acres of the Amazon rainforest was destroyed just to grow food, grow the grain that these animals would eat. And it takes more than 11 times as much fossil fuels to make 1 calorie of animal protein than plant protein. So keep driving your car, it's fine. We're just not seeing the big picture. And the reason we don't hear about this, and this isn't such a big thing, is because imagine how much money would be lost if people stopped eating meat and dairy. Imagine how much money these companies would lose. It's insane. Like, they would lose so much money if people stopped eating meat. That's why stuff like this isn't brought to everyone's attention. It's better for companies and for business if we think that we are doing the right thing and that everything is okay and that there's nothing we can do. Alright. If every American skipped 1 meal of chicken per week and replaced it with a vegan meal, it would equal taking 500,000 cars off the road. Yeah. So, again, there's so many more facts about the environment and the effects going vegan has on it. But this is just a few. I didn't even touch the surface. So, on to the health benefits. If you eat a vegan diet, you are reducing your intake of fat, cholesterol, and hormones and antibiotics that come along with eating animal products. You can get your protein from things like lentils, black beans, veggie burgers, tofu, nuts, peanut butter even. Most foods have protein in it, and there's this big misconception that we need so much protein, and you really don't need that much. Just eating your normal diet every day. A normal vegan diet every day, you get more than enough protein. Especially, a lot of people don't know there is protein in greens as well, like kale and spinach. Our saliva in humans is actually alkaline and is not meant to break down animal flesh. If you look at the saliva in carnivores, it is very acidic and it is perfect for breaking down meat. One thing I wanted to touch on is the biological aspect of it. Yes, humans are smart and we are able to make tools and weapons to kill animals for food, but if you look at it at a biological state, we do not have claws, we do not have sharp teeth, we are definitely not built to run and chase after our meals. It's just not. It's just, if you look at a lion compared to us, lions are carnivores, they eat meat only, and their teeth are made for shredding it and tearing it, and ours are made for grinding, which is great for fruits, vegetables, and grains. The muscle mass in vegans is the same. We don't have any less muscle than, or vegans don't have any less muscle than meat eaters. There is plenty of vegan bodybuilders that are very big and look no different than your normal meat eater bodybuilder. So eating a vegan diet can lower heart disease, cancer, blood pressure, because we're eating a lot of high fiber foods, antioxidants, iron, magnesium, and tons of other vitamins without that cholesterol and fat that come along with it. Again, a lot of meat and dairy is injected with antibiotics, which is obviously not good to intake all the time. And our colon is actually convoluted compared to a colon in carnivores, which is very smooth. So the last thing I want to talk about is some vegan replacements for normal things like meat. There is vegan cake, vegan ice cream, vegan cookies and desserts, and you can make almost any meal vegan if you want to. You're not missing out on anything. There's still tons of desserts, breakfasts, cinnamon rolls, if you like that, donuts. You can make anything vegan. And I know it may seem hard to do this cold turkey, but there is so many things you can do. Just even cutting out just red meat or eating one less meal with meat a week, you are helping. And just try lowering your portions of meat and making your portions of fruits and vegetables bigger. That can help out as well. But yeah, that's basically it. I think I'm going on 20 minutes now. But so to end this off, I just want to challenge you to go vegan for a week. See how you feel. I know once I did it, I noticed a change immediately. I felt less groggy, less bloated. My skin looked amazing. And because I used to have breakouts a lot, which I believe is due to the hormones that are in dairy. And yeah, I challenge you to go vegan for a week, and I challenge you to visit a farmed animal sanctuary. Spend time with these animals that we see as food, and I believe you will realize that they are no different than cats or dogs, and they're actually pigs and chickens. Cows are actually a lot smarter, and they will love you, and they will cuddle with you, and they love their belly rubbed, and they are literally no different than your cat or your dog. But yeah, those are my challenges to you. I hope this video gave you some insight, or this speech gave you some insight on a different way of looking at things, a different way of looking at life and how we eat. And yeah, thank you for watching.